the rugged mountain scenery of northeastern Spain, backdrop to round 4 of the World Rally Championship. The event's full title is the Rally Catalunya-Costa Brava, and it's in the area familiar to tens of thousands of holidaymakers that the rally is run. 18 stages host the action, with day 1 to the south of Barcelona and days 2 and 3 in the hills close to the host town, Lloret de Mar. This event draws huge crowds of wildly enthusiastic fans, but those crowds can often cause headaches for the organisers. Safety is the overriding priority. With massive crowds toward the end of the very first stage, it was deemed too dangerous to run, leaving thousands of disappointed spectators. Day 1 belonged to Peugeot, and in particular one man, Gilles Panizzi. Fastest of all 5 of the day's stages, Panizzi, co-driven by his brother Hervé, led by over 26 seconds as the cars headed for the overnight halt.
It's the first time for me to do the best time on all the stages. I'm very happy for that.
But his teammate Richard Burns fared almost as well. Second fastest on 3 stages and then third on the other 2. He was in second place.
It's been a good day, probably my best first day of this year. We've always tended to start a little bit slower or have some problems on the first day, and we've really had nothing at all today. We've had good clean stages. All of the 5 stages that have run have been good.
Peugeots were first and second, and Citroens were third and fourth. And Bugalski ended the day third, after taking a little time to settle into a rhythm.
Try more speed, because I have a good feeling with my car. I choose the good tire, no problem after.
But there were mixed fortunes for his teammates. Sebastian Loeb was fourth, but Thomas Rodstrom crashed out of the rally on the day's last stage, much to the disgust of co-driver Denis Girardet.
How can you be so stupid? I stopped you 2 times, huh? Okay, it's not too bad.
Local hero Carlos Sainz is competing on his 155th World Rally. A new co-driver Mark Marty replaces the injured Lewis Moyer. The pair appear to be working well together.
3 days ago I was not so sure what was going to happen, and now I can say we have passed a very difficult day. I feel okay.
Injury worries too for Colin McRae, whose broken finger needed some unusual attention from Ford's physio. McRae ended day 1 in 7th place, a broken finger forcing him to drive carefully and choose his line through corners with great care, so it might actually be helping.
I can't afford to take any chances on the slippy stuff and let the car get too far out of shape, because then that's when it's going to be a problem to get it back. But yeah, so just a bit tidier than normal.
Best of the non-French cars after day 1 was the Subaru Impreza of 6th place Peter Solberg. Brake problems meant the Norwegian was pushing hard to make up for lost time, sometimes a little too hard.
I didn't have so very good hope to do very well, you know. The most important thing for me is to get the experience with the pace and everything, and we are improving that. But still, it's going quite well, and but we have lots of small problems and we're losing time.
More problems for his colleague Tommy Mäkinen. Transmission glitches with a quarter of his time loss, and Rodstrom's bend on stage 6 also cut out the 4-time world champion. A sky-high engine temperature at the end of the stage forced Mäkinen to stop and check the damage. Co-driver Kai Lindstrom was dispatched to cold water for a leaking radiator, but despite having the contents of a Spanish swimming pool and some serious work by the Subaru mechanics back in service, there were concerns that the engine had been damaged by its lack of water.
Engine was overheated. Is it too bad? We cannot say.
This was how things stood after day 1. Panizzi led from Burns, with the other Peugeot 206 and Marcus Gronholm in 5th place. A great battle between Gronholm, Solberg and 7th placed Colin McRae was promised for day 2, but Tommy Mäkinen suspected he would be lucky to play any further part in the rally. Sure enough, on the road section from Lloret de Mar out to day 2's first stage, Mäkinen was parked up.
You need water?
Yeah, please.
The engine temperature was again off the clock, and fluid of any sort was what was needed. Surely, though, this was just a case of postponing the inevitable. It was only a matter of time before Mäkinen joined Ronstrom on the retirement list.
Yeah, it suddenly overheated. It didn't warn at all. It was started all right from Park Feme, quite normal, and first 20-30 kilometers all right, no problem at all, and suddenly something broke. So it seems to be impossible to continue. We have to retire.
Words of encouragement for Solberg in the other Impreza, but Mäkinen was only too aware that this was his third successive retirement this year. He headed off, but the car was going back to Lloret, not to the stages.
As these things happen, Tommy came on the radio this morning and said, you know, I think this engine's okay, it's really good. And about literally 2 minutes later, the steam came out. We knew it was marginal, so it was not a shock this morning when Tommy came on the radio and said, sorry guys, but looks like we've stopped.
Colin, how's the hand feeling after driving nearly 1,000 kilometres yesterday?
Not so bad, it's doing pretty well, so hopefully if we can do the same again today, it should be good.
You're just outside the points, there's all to play for still for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's very close, and we're in a position that we more or less thought we would be in, so we just got to try and just get in the points today.
At the Citroën camp, there was an air of the calm before the storm. Philippe Wygalski was determined to do something about the two silver Peugeots, but not surprisingly, the man ahead of him had other ideas.
Richard, what's the game plan for today?
I think just try and drive the same as I did yesterday. It's good enough to finish second yesterday. Gilles, I think, is a little bit too far in front of us to think about catching, but if I just keep my speed, then we can get a good result.
The Peugeot whirlwind, meanwhile, was equally as confident.
Gilles, you need another day today like yesterday?
Yes. Today it will be different. The tarmac is not the same. The rally is not the same, and I think the feeling, it will be good, and I am confident for it.
Day 2 of the rally consisted of 6 more stages, a batch of 3 repeated in fact. The road surface was less abrasive than that on the previous day, but being a Saturday, the crowds were forecast to be even bigger. They were much bigger. Equally as worrying was the fact that large numbers of cars were parked in the stages, making notes about places where corners could be cut largely irrelevant. The crowds might have been well-natured, but there was a very real danger that somebody might get hurt. So, for the second day running, the organisers had no option but to cancel the first stage.
No. But you have to go the same minute. 11, 1 minute, okay? You can go when you want.
So, the massive crowds had little to cheer but cars travelling at road speeds. Not surprisingly, there was then an extra hazard. People leaving to get to the next stage. Attention now switched to stage 8, the day's second. From above it seemed a familiar story. The organisers sent safety cars into the stage to assess the situation, but with every vantage point occupied, it seemed that the stage was full to bursting point. Again, there seemed to be a carnival atmosphere, but the risk of sending rally cars into the stage was too great, and so stage 8 was also abandoned, a decision which met with universal approval.
You've got a feel for the spectators. It's fantastic to see so many people coming out on the rally. At the same time, they're going to be disappointed if the cars don't run past them competitively. We're disappointed as well. We want to do the kilometres, we want to do the rally, but safety must come first.
To everyone's relief, team management, drivers and spectators, stage 9 was able to run as planned. The top 15 cars run in reverse order on days 2 and 3, so it would be Alistair McRae's Mitsubishi which would be first into the stage, and so the first to check whether the spectators were safely placed.
Alistair, you must be slightly concerned with the spectator problems being first on the road. Yeah, no, well, it's the same for everybody. If the stage is not safe to run, then we can't run it. We don't want to injure any spectator if we have a problem or make a mistake.
Looks like we've got action in here, though.
Yeah, 1 out of 3 is not too bad, eh?
From Alistair's onboard camera, however, there seems to be no problem.
Long in and care left times long to medium minus in. 150. Pay right plus tightens bridge, don't cut.
McRae and co-driver David Senior were 15th fastest through the stage and 14th overall. Mitsubishi seemed to have cured the understeer problems they had in Corsica, but still seem to have a long way to go before the car is competitive on tarmac. They launched their action WRC in Corsica, and so are also still developing the car. Freddie Leutz currently heads their challenge, 12th overall, but 7th quickest on stage 9, beating all 3 of the Fords and both Mitsubishis, despite transmission problems. Before the rally, Francois Delacour expressed hope that the Lancers would be a lot more competitive, so like Alistair McRae, must be longing both for the gravel of Cyprus and for the new car. More open, flowing stages in Catalunya seem to suit the big Skoda Octavias far better than the twisty mountain roads on the island of Corsica. Tony Gardemeister was the best of the Czech team's drivers. He was 11th, while Kenneth Eriksson was a lonely 19th. Over the 21.8 kilometres, Sainz and co-driver Mark Marty were only 11th fastest. Both Ford and Subaru run on Pirelli tyres, and their recent record on tarmac isn't great. In addition, the Ford Focus has only won once on asphalt, here in Spain 2 years ago, so both Sainz and Colin McRae knew that a handful of points was probably the best they could hope for. With the 2 Citroens unable to score manufacturer points, however, the pair were currently on course for 4th and 5th places, and so were fairly content.
6 right, into right and 4 left, tightens. And 6 right over crest and 6 left, 30, slight right over crest and 6 left, 50. 6 right and 3 left plus, opens. 30, right tightens to 3. And left tightens to 3 minus. 30, 6 right middle and 6 right minus opens into 3 left plus, tightens. And right tightens to 3, opens. 30, 3 left tightens.
40.
Peter Solberg and co-driver Phil Mills were also on Pirellis, but the last win for Impreza on tarmac was in Monte Carlo in January, so the odds were slightly in their favour.
6 left, opens 100, slow 6 right, keep in 40, 2 left plus and gap, opens 40, line into neat, 2 right plus, double tightens, minus keep in, and 2 left minus, opens 40, line into 4 right plus, half long, tightens 30, 2 left tightens, into 2 right, half long, opens 40, neat 2 left minus, tightens keep in, neat 2 left minus, tightens keep in, into 1 right plus, opens 30, keep right over crest, into 2 left minus, tightens, into 5 right, opens 50.
Marcus Grönholm was the man ahead of Solberg, and despite losing over a second to the Norwegian on stage 9, his 5th place still looked secure.
Toista pitkä hidas. 5 ja vasen tosi hidas. Ja oikealle oikea hidas. 8 oikea eri miinus, ehkä leikkaa. Ja vasen pitkä nopea sumppu. Ja oikea pitkä eri miinus. Vasen pitkä nopea kirraa sumppuun.
As expected, the top 4 stage times were set by French cars, which continued their commanding performance. Sebastian Loeb and co-driver Daniel Eleanor were second fastest, a performance which edged them closer to a podium place.
50 mètres, gauche 80 mètres, droite sur le bon long corde de tard. Droite sur le bon long corde de tard et gauche en plus corde.
The pair were still 4th, but were now just under 22 seconds behind their teammates Philippe Bogowski and Jean-Paul Charoni.
Pour gauche 93 ferme, 93 ferme. Pour droite à fond corde, plus gauche sans ferme. Pour droite 93, extérieur ouvre et ferme léger très tard extérieur. Ferme léger très tard extérieur. Il est là.
They were fourth fastest, just over 2 seconds slower than Richard Burns and Robert Reed.
20 fast right, 40 flat left, 30 flat left open 60, medium left minus 20, medium left minus long 40, slow medium right in and opens 50, medium right plus to fast right 40, flat right 60, flat right don't cut 20, fast left to fast left minus in, to flat right, to flat left 40, right crest 30, flat left 80, flat right long 40, fast left minus in, to fast left minus 60, fast right minus 20, medium right in tightens maybe long, 20, medium left minus long, 50, flat right 40, flat.
Burns was still driving superbly, but was aware that his only realistic chance of victory lay with his teammate failing to finish. Panizzi, however, was showing no signs of weakness.
95 long pas corde. Gauche à fond long. 50 mètres, ferme 90 long plus. Dans droite 90 long presque plus. Long presque plus. 50 mètres. Droite 90 plus et où 80 mètres. Gauche 95 long presque plus.
Panizzi was again fastest, his 6th stage win from 6. So after just one of the planned 3 stages, Panizzi's lead had grown to over 31 seconds, so much for fears that he'd be slowed by a dirty road surface. Burns, Bugalski, Loeb, Gronholm and Solberg had all held station, but some of the gaps had closed a little, while behind the top 6, Colin McRae had dropped a full 10 seconds to Solberg.
Petter, you just finished stage 9. You're the best again of the non-French cars.
Yeah, but I want to get past one anyway, you know, it's could have been good fun, but we have to sort out the brake problem first before I can, you know, push properly.
Richard, you finished yesterday full of confidence. More of the same this morning.
Yeah, it was good stage. The only one we managed to do today was fine. We took a little bit of time off Bugalski, and Gilles was quicker again, but not too worried about that.
Gilles, you've started the day as you finished it yesterday with a stage win.
Yes, I continue. So it's fantastic, and I continue to push because it's better for me for the concentration, and in this condition I drive well, and I prefer to continue in the same ride.
Philippe, with 2 stages cancelled this morning, it's been difficult for you to catch Richard Burns.
Yes, it's very, very difficult, but because we don't participate in the 2 stages this morning, but Richard Burns drive very, very fast in the 3rd stage, and he lose 2 seconds.
Stage 10, a repeat of the cancelled stage 7, was able to run this time. The spectators far better placed, or so everyone thought. Tony Gardemeister gave the crowds a little excitement on his way to setting the 14th fastest time. Flames from the rear of the car looked far worse than they actually were. But there was more drama on the stage. Unhappily for the local fans, it concerned their hero, Sainz. Just watch Mark Marty's face as Carlos struggles to keep control.
Espera, 2. Frenando derecha, buena menos. Muy bueno.
John, we have gone off the road. Place full of cars. Where we have cut, we found a car in the inside and a car in the outside of the bend. And I just couldn't control the car. Sorry, but this is stupid. I mean, I don't understand how we can do a stage like that.
The accident illustrated just how dangerous the parked cars were. The focus was clearly going no further, and Sainz wasn't happy.
This is down there is quite a fast left where we have a lot of cut, and looks like the cars were more in the inside, but actually when we cut, one was facing a little bit more outside. Then I have to correct the line, and I came sideways, and then in the other side, in the outside of the bend, it was another car park, and then I got scared and I couldn't control the car.
Colin McRae was only 10th fastest on stage 10. Co-driver Nicky Grist on the radio immediately afterwards to echo Sainz's complaints about parked cars. For the first time all rally, the stage wasn't won by Panizzi. Instead, a determined Peter Solberg was quickest. Subaru had told Solberg that with Mäkinen out, they needed him to finish in the points, but Peter was more than happy to show them he could up the pace should it be necessary. Bugalski was only 6th fastest, the Citroën Zara driver perhaps eager to save his tyres for an attack on the 2 remaining stages. That took a little of the pressure off Burns. Third quickest, he was still in second place and was now over 26 seconds clear of third place Bugalski. Gilles Panizzi was so nearly the stage winner, just 0.2 of a second the gap between his Peugeot and Solberg's Subaru after nearly 20 kilometres. But rallying's not about so nearlies, and so Panizzi's run of stage wins was finally at an end. Not that it mattered, his lead was now nearly 32 seconds. Stage 11, and Solberg wasn't able to repeat his stage victory. 5th fastest, Solberg and Mills clearly had eyes on Grönholm's 5th place, but were only able to take 1/10 of a second off the fin this time.
5 left, opens 50, slippy braking, don't cut short, hairpin left, slippy.
Like many drivers, Grönholm brakes with his left foot, but Catalunya doesn't suit his style. The 2000 world champion found that his brake discs were more burnt than the others, and trying to alter the way he braked was making the car jerk. As a result, he was happy to stick with his tried and trusted system and suffer the slight time loss. Loeb's style is far smoother, and he was nearly a second faster than Grönholm. Over a minute and 22 seconds down on the leader, Loeb knows that victory isn't really an option, but
sur droite 80 léger granette et gauche 100. Gauche 100 sur droite 90 plus corde ça le jette. Droite 90 plus corde ça le jette et attention gauche 60 000.
Burns was equal second fastest, setting exactly the same time as Bugalski. The pair go into the final day a little over 26 seconds apart, so second place could well still change hands. But first place looks to be a different matter. Panizzi returned to his winning ways on stage 11 and now looks set to take his first win in Spain.
Gauche 95, long presque plus, sortie corde. 80 mètres, gauche 90. En droite à fond long. Sur gauche à fond. Sur droite à fond. Gauche 100, presque plus, bref. En droite à fond.
So, with one stage remaining today, Panizzi's lead had grown slightly to a little under 33 seconds. All the rest of the top 6 were aware that even the slightest error would cost them a place, but that equally they were all well placed to attack tomorrow. Behind the point-scoring positions, Colin McRae was also poised to better his 7th place on the final day. Stage 12 was another run through the 21.8-kilometre Yosses test. From this angle you can see just how low down Nicky Grist sits. He's effectively on the floor in an attempt to lower the centre of gravity. Whether it worked or not, he and Colin McRae were 5th fastest. Peter Solberg was just 0.6 of a second slower than McRae, but the Subaru will still go into day 3 over 32 seconds ahead of the Ford. Richard Burns was 7th fastest, apparently having to take things a little easy through the stage and losing exactly 10 seconds to the chasing Bugalski as a result. But there was no taking it easy for Gilles Panizzi. Fastest again, his 8th stage win from 9. Gilles and his brother Hervé will take a lead of nearly 45 seconds into tomorrow's 6 stages. This, in fact, is how the leaderboard looks after day 2. None of the top 6 places changed hands today, but the gaps between them have certainly altered. None of those 6 can afford to relax tomorrow, not even Panizzi, while Colin McRae will be certain to try and move into the points.
Richard, second at the end of day 2, another great day for you.
Yeah, it's been a good day, not quite as long as we were hoping for, but not bad.
Gilles, you have a 44-second lead now. It's going to be virtually impossible for anybody to beat you tomorrow.
I think he's okay, and I hope to Richard keep this second place, because he did a good rally just from now. And for me, I continue, and I think from tomorrow morning I don't push like today.
So, Gilles Panizzi is on course to take his second successive World Rally win, but 6 more stages stand in his way. Join us tomorrow to see whether he can do it, but from day 2 of the Rally Catalunya, good night.